cuffs are off, man. Get right. Too many left in these leagues, but I ain't gonna leave. I'ma get right. Get right. Down to the bottom and scratch it for all the...
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up everybody? It's Marcus Grant.
This is AJ Dillon of the Green Bay Packers.
I got to give a shout out to y'all at Get Right Fantasy.
If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Our league. Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
And best of luck with your podcast. Appreciate the support.
And you're tuned in to watch my boys at Get Right Fantasy Network. Get you right. Enjoy the show.
But I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, go roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down, cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right, cause I roll my sleeves up.
What up? What up? What up, world? We are back. I'm Anthony, aka Rasta, and this is Get Right Fantasy Network. And I'm here with my boy Fish and Frank on this wonderful Monday evening. It's my birthday week, Frank.
Oh, that's right.
The Niners got their ass kicked.
Oh, it was joyful.
And the Ravens just put it, and you guys got to win.
We got to win.
Cowboys get a win.
That was awesome.
And Ravens
we might have 2 wins. We get the Giants next.
Watch out, right? Watch out. And yeah, man, Ravens 30, Chargers 23. What we just watched here tonight. So Chargers kind of got out on them, talking all big and bad. J.K. Dobbins goes out, and a whole different ball game after that, man. Lamar, Derrick Henry.
I don't think it was just so much J.K. Dobbins as that drive on the third where they just kept going on the fourth down. I think they did 3 fourth down.
Yeah, from their own 15.
Yeah, they were like, "Nah, this is it,"
good.
and they just put a stamp on the game after that. Like literally, like it changed the whole game after that.
Yeah,
Because they just kind of was like, "No, we're gonna break their backs on this one," and they did. They went all the way down the field, got their touchdown, and then like the whole everything just kind of, just like the momentum of the game switches. Yeah.
it did, and it just switches, just like that sometimes. So, yeah,
That Cowboy games are crazy. Did you watch the end of our game?
Oh, of course, yeah, of course.
That was crazy, right?
Yeah, just insaneness, just all around.
You get the
Interesting week.
touchdown, they leave enough time. The guy throws one pass. The guy goes for a touchdown. I'm like, oh, great. Of course you're going to lose. And then the dude misses the field goal.
And
and
missed the field goal
I was like,
after
"Ooh."
coming back off injury. Yeah, dude, it was just nuts. That
And
was
then
nuts.
they do the kickoff. Devonta Turpin just grabs it. Like,
He
he's
runs
like,
it back for a
"Set out my
touchdown
move."
instead of going.
Did you see him? They reply to that. That was hilarious too. He was talking in the interview. He's, "Oh, it's a move I hadn't put out yet. Nobody's seen yet." I was like, "It's not. It's a good move. It's not something
Just
new."
run straight. Yeah, that's the hidden move, like turbo button.
Yeah, but he like just spun out of it and did hit the turbo though. You're right, because he just like took off after that. Nobody even touched him after that. I was like,
Yeah, they were expecting him to like, go on the ground and like, go after it. And he just tink and just was gone.
And then they do the onside, and that guy just like, well, I'm just gonna run it in too instead of just going down.
Shit.
It's just go down and nail the game and be done with it. No, he has to go in and score too. But I guess at that point, I guess it's okay because then you're up by 2 scores. So
it was interesting, man. It was interesting. It was good stuff. And yeah, but the one thing, man, that was tough is this.
Yes. I was looking for it right now. So I'm out.
Man,
I'm out. This is the week I lost. Too many people in the buy NATO got me. I got by B-Rob getting injured. Josh Downs going down. I literally had Brees Hall, Kamara, BTJ, Khalil Shakir, all these guys on a buy. And yeah, it got me, man. I was the lowest score, literally under 100. First time I've scored under 100 in the league. And of course, it's a bad time to do it in. You know what I mean? All you need is one and done.
Guillotine Leagues, man. If you haven't checked out a Guillotine League, make sure you check it out. Again, This is the Get Right Fantasy Network Guillotine League. Based on how it was going this year, I think for sure we're doing one next year, right?
Yeah, we got to do one for sure next year. We got to do some
I
skin
know
in the
you
game
liked it.
next year. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So now you're ready to play now for real.
Oh, I've learned. I've made some mistakes and I learned some things this year. You know what I mean? Like you got to get one in there. Save your money. Save your money.
Can't wait to go back on the earlier streams and see
Yeah.
what you were
I
saying
mean,
about it.
because it gets crazy. At the beginning, everybody's like got money and they're spending money.
$600. Yeah.
Later on, there's guys going like, who was it that they
Bijan with $0.
Bijan $0. Like literally, the people are so broke they can't even spend on Bijan. Also, he was on a buy, and I think people overlooked him or just didn't want to like push it.
You can't
But
risk it. You're only
yeah.
you try to think ahead, and next thing you know, you're out.
Yeah, you got to think this week for sure. 'Cause you may not make it the next week.
You don't got to be first, but don't be last, man. Guillotine
Yeah.
Leagues, man. Check them out. If you're interested, man, let us know. If you got questions or comments, you can drop them in the chat. So make sure you guys, anything you guys got, let us know how you're doing in your teams. You know, you need to win, or you're already clinched. Let us know how you've been doing this year. And so, yeah, man, tonight we'll get into the show here. That was a lot of fun, that little intro there. You know, it's been a long season, so it's nice to kind of reflect back a little bit and just kind of see how things are going. And yeah, man, we're heading into week freaking 13 already, man. We got 2 more weeks basically of regular season, and then it's playoff time, man. It's what we made it for. Doesn't matter if you're undefeated or you're, you know, first place or 6th place or 4th place, depending on, you know, how many teams advance. Your goal is just to get into the playoffs and just try to go 3-0, man. Just gonna put a 3-game stretch together and take home the championship. So make sure you guys are tuning in with us. You know, every day basically we have live shows going on. Frank, why don't you tell them about what we got going on here throughout the week? Anyone new here to us?
Oh yeah, so during the week here, Mondays we kind of obviously overreaction show tonight, things like that. Wednesdays we were doing waiver wire talk, roster management, but now we're gonna be mostly doing some sit start talk, especially since this is a short week and we're going into 3 games on Thursday. So it gives us a good opportunity to really go over some sit start, active inactives, things like that. Tycoon does a fantasy boardroom on Tuesdays. We got Phil hosting the Extra Point podcast there and doing dynasty trades and player outlooks on Wednesdays, and prop bets, daily fantasy, stuff like that on Thursdays. We got Kendall with the Fantasy Football Tavern and Cody McGoes with the Sweet Life podcast. They're live on Saturdays now, so we're doing shows on then, and then there's always Mike holding it down Sunday mornings. I've seen you on the show this Sunday morning. We had a special guest on there. Like,
Yeah,
he's always doing
Dynasty
the same
Pylon.
show.
Yeah, shout out to them, man. It was fun getting together.
Yeah, and I even had a question on them. And
Yeah.
you know what? I want to mention that because you guys like no. Start McBride, right? But Jonnu Smith did outscore McBride. Just FYI.
Well, they both went off, so you really you're in a good spot. Like it wasn't going to cost you either way.
Yeah.
But McBride, yeah, he just can't score touchdowns like that guy.
Yeah,
and
he
didn't
just
Johnny have like
get
2
the
or
touchdown?
something?
Johnny got the touchdown. Jonnu Smith got the touchdown. He's been on a roll, man. Look out for Jonnu Smith, dude, over there in Miami. I like him. He's been putting up some decent numbers. But yeah, no, it just these are the guys. These are the people we have. I think you put up the graphic there. Check out our shows. Like and subscribe to all our affiliates. You know, they're all part of the Get Right Fantasy Network here. We're all putting out content for you guys. You know, literally almost every day of the week here. And come and support. Check out, join the community. Get on our Get Right sleeper network. You can join Anthony, myself. Everybody's there. They got a bunch of threads already pinned that you could ask your questions to about your teams, your rosters, your whatever's going on. Obviously, the trade deadlines are pretty much done right now, but yeah, we do a live a lot. But I mean, if you got more time and you need more in depth, look, you definitely should join us, and obviously join us to play some games. Join us next. We're coming up best ball again next year. We'll be doing that early, and then we kind of start leagues during the thing for the listeners to join us, and probably get another one. Definitely getting one.
Mock draft tournament. Mock drafting again.
Yeah,
we'll have a guillotine league. So yeah, so it'll be exciting, man. Appreciate you, Nino, man. What's up, man? Good to see you, man. It has been a minute. Glad you're joining us here. Let us know how you're doing, man. How your team's doing. You in, you out. What's going on? And yeah, of course, if you've got any questions, let us know. All in one show, back again. What's up, man? How you doing? Says, hey guys, I want to get some pro advice. Love the insight you guys give and need opinions on this trade. He says he's going to send a lineup. He's sitting 7-5 right now in the 3rd seed. He says he has Burrow, Gibbs, Jacobs, Puka, London, Kelsey, Higgins at the flex. His bench is Connor, Goff, Jennings, Pollard, Ridley, Waddle, and Pacheco on IR. Would you trade out Pollard, London for Connor? Would you trade out Pollard, London, and Connor for Chase? I think I would.
Hold on. Who
I
does he
think
got
I
on the bench
would, man.
besides that?
Yeah, it depends on who you can get.
He'll be starting Gibbs and Jacobs.
Yeah, depends on who that third wide receiver or third running back's going. Oh no, because he has Pacheco coming back off IR. Like even if he's in RB3, he's going to be leaning on Gibbs and Jacobs. And again, Goff and Burrow like stack that can just literally win you leagues. The only thing that's tough with Chase right now and why he is going to be available possibly is because he does have a tough playoff matchups. Man, he sees Pat Surtain. I mean, he sees like a bunch of like shutdown guys. Let me bring it up here really quick. All right. So yeah, so coming off this bye week, so he gets Dallas, which is Diggs, Tennessee, who we thought was going to be Ladarius Sneed, but he's on IR now, so he'll be fine there. Then he gets Cleveland, and then he gets Surtain week 17. So the Cleveland matchup isn't as bad anymore, but Newsom and Ward over there, they're pretty good. Dallas, I mean, he could torch them at Dallas. And then, sees Ryan Clark week 13 against Pittsburgh. So, I mean, it's tough matchups, but I mean, we've seen what Chase is capable of. It's tough to have Pollard and Connor in there.
Yeah,
I'd want to keep one of them. Or
I was also
can you
thinking
get
maybe
Chase
switch
and
out
some
London
other
for
running
Waddle.
back?
Waddle just had a good game, had a touchdown, maybe so high on him.
Yeah, but I mean, I would still give up London if that's who the guy wants. I mean, you don't want to change it like too much. Like I don't mind giving London if you can get a running back in return. So who does he have in return at running back? If you're giving him 2, he should be able to give up 1. Someone who's just kind of, tough.
A hopeful, a handcuff.
Yeah, like still startable, like above Justice Hill. It doesn't have to be like Chase Brown or anything like that, but like someone decent. So maybe a hurt B-Rob or something, something like that. Which we'll get into here in a second. Tyler says thoughts on Edwards. Dobbins was left in a
giving the Chase scenario right there. All the scenarios with the Chase one lineup and like to make it to the ship there.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just want to figure out.
No, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. So thoughts on Gus Edwards. I mean, he scored the garbage time touchdown. That's what he's going to be good for if they can get down there. We did see Herbert run it in earlier, so it'd have been interesting if that would have been Dobbins or Edwards. If they got a little closer, Edwards or McNichols. Ooh. I mean, B-Rob came back, kind of re-aggravated it. Hopefully it's not a high ankle, but you have Eckler dealing with a concussion as well. McNichols might be the guy to go with.
I literally have him as a waiver wire pickup right now. Is McNichols because both Brian Robinson and Eckler got injured.
Yeah, but you have to also be worried about Chris Rodriguez because remember earlier when they kind of both were out, they brought up Chris Rodriguez from the practice squad, and he was actually getting some run there as well too. Because remember they kind of gave McNichols an opportunity, didn't do well, and we were even at one point lightweight kind of picking up Chris Rodriguez there for a second. I kind of remember that about a month and a half ago or so, whenever that was. But yeah, those could be 2 interesting names. But I'd probably leave Gus. I just like that offense a little better, and I think Gus is, what you're going to get from him,
Yeah, Gus was supposed to be the lead, and then he got
touchdown.
injured, and Dobbins got the lead, and he's been holding it down, did a good job, and we were kind of literally waiting for this day of Dobbins getting the injury, but again,
knew it was coming. That's why
which it almost seemed like the announcers jinxed him because they were talking about like his past history, who he got drafted with, and the time he spent with the teams, and then being injured. He's just that type of guy. He's a breakable. That's what I call him. He's gonna he gets good production when he's on the field, but caution because he can get subject to injury right here. Not that you want anybody to go down because he's been doing great. I have him on one of my teams. I don't want that guy gone, but we were always suggesting get Gus the Bus as a handcuff, or as the next guy up, and people might even talk Kamani Vidal now. You know what I mean? Like
I was going to say that too.
Get him involved as well. So I would take Gus the Bus first before Kamani Vidal, but as Anthony was saying, I like this offense better than over there with McNichols and what's going on there. but I mean, he's still a viable option there.
I mean, it's still a good offense with Jaden Daniels and everything like that, but I
just
just am
Jaden
more worried
Daniels
about
he'll start running
Rodriguez.
more because of the running back out. You know what I mean? Because he was doing that with Dallas even. He had to. I mean, at that point, he didn't have much else going. Which is crazy. So, again, I think that's best than McNichols.
Yep. Good stuff.
Just got Jonathan talking about should I pick up Jennings or Jacoby? Yeah, to come back to these or what? Should we answer all these?
Oh, what? So the Commanders actually just waived Chris Rodriguez 2 days ago on Saturday, right before.
We don't have to worry about that.
So yeah, I guess McNichols is the guy. All right, McNichols it is. 0% owned on Sleeper. Go get him. No, I mean he was on there too. What's up, Robert? Man, how's it going? So should you pick up Jennings or Jacoby? I mean Myers did look pretty good. Actually against that Denver. They played Denver, right? Against that Denver defense. They kind of were able to move the ball, but I'm not really feeling who they're going to come in with quarterback here. You got Aiden O'Connell coming back in. Daniel Jones said no to them, which we'll get into here in a second. I think with Purdy potentially coming back here, I still have Jennings over Jacoby for sure. Who do you got?
I got Jennings also. He seems to have he's just a better talent, I think, right now. And Purdy should be coming back, right? It's not like a long term, like, oh, he's going to be out for so long type thing.
Right. He says, or should I take Brian Thomas or Devontae Adams off waivers?
Brian Thomas in that case. BTJ?
It depends if Trevor's coming back. He's kind of practicing. We'll have a little update on that when we get into news and notes here in a second. But yeah, probably Brian Thomas. But who else do you got? Maybe I mean, I like Jennings over those three, I think, with a healthy Purdy and a healthy Trent Williams, more importantly. So,
yeah, I would agree with that.
And then,
but if Purdy's not back, then I'll take BTJ. Take my chance.
I think so. BTJ. Even with Mac Jones, they had a better connection than I thought right before they went to the bye week. So we'll see.
Personally, I'd be staying away from Devontae Adams.
I'm just not feeling it.
There's nothing going on over there, man. It's all
weirdness going on. We'll get into that here in a second too. All these teasers. But we're getting to the chat, man. I just kind of went old school here. This is how we used to do it. Remember, we used to just take chats and then get there.
For a full hour of just chats.
When people get tired, then we'll just go to the recorded stuff. We could do that whenever. We'll talk to people while they're here.
Just remember, you got super chats, man. We got super chats now. So if you feel like donating, helping us out, we got bills to pay, man.
There it is. Chase facing Surtain on championship week sounds worrisome. He didn't see that side of that. That's why we're here for you. He says, would you just stay put with the team I have? Higgins could possibly be healthy and stay hot. And that's the kind of thing you like, actually, having Higgins opposite of Chase, someone who commands so much attention. And then like Higgins is a one on his own, like wherever he goes next year, like buy him in Dynasty if you can, like when healthy, like this guy is good. And of course, Burrow's the type of quarterback he can get off his first read to Chase and go to Higgins, and he'll just hit Higgins all day until they go, all right, we're going to take away Higgins and give one-on-one on Chase, and then they're going to beat you over the top of Chase. It just depends on the defense that you're facing. So, how hot, quote unquote, the Broncos are right now. Why not? That might be a shootout week 17 with Cincinnati. And Cincinnati might be in a win or, go home type of situation by then if they're not already. So, especially after that loss they took right before going in the bye. So, yeah, man, I don't know, man. It's hard to say no if you can get your hands on Chase. I just think you need a little bit better of a running back coming back to you if you're going to give away those two pieces.
I just thought it was too much.
And then I didn't realize you said you had Higgins in the flex. I don't know if I'd put all my eggs in that basket. So maybe swap out London for Higgins. And then maybe that allows you to keep one of your running backs.
Yeah. That's what I was looking at. Waddle was like that way.
Yeah.
London.
Yeah, definitely. If you can go like Waddle, Higgins for Chase. Waddle, Higgins, Pollard. I don't know. Yeah, it'd be tough either way. All right. Anyway, we'll get to it. I just got to know who else he has back. Zach Allen out was the reason Raiders were able to kind of run on us. Oh, okay. He says that's the people's fantasy podcast, man. That's what we're here for, man. For the people, by the people. All right, man. So let's get into it. So yeah, anything else you guys got in the chat, man? We're all caught up. Go ahead and drop it in there. We'll start and get to it when we can. Let's run through our news and notes here. We are 20 minutes in, but that's all right. I like doing that with you guys. So that's a lot of fun. But yeah, man. So it's week 13, man. No buys this week. It's a full slate. Again, Thanksgiving week. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. As I mentioned, my birthday is on Thanksgiving here. Just gonna little self gloat right there, or self shout out. Yeah, some self-love there. So yeah, man. And then we have another bye NATO, man. In week 14, you got 6 teams on bye. You got Baltimore, Denver, Houston, Indianapolis, New England, and Washington. A lot of heavy hitters there. You know, Bo Nix has been the top, QB1 recently. You got Lamar and Jaden Daniels. Like, you could argue 3 top 10, maybe 2 top 5 quarterbacks are going to be out. You have guys like Jonathan Taylor, CJ Stroud, Nico Collins, Joe Mixon, Cortland Sutton. Like, these guys are going to be out this week. King Henry. So you make sure you're preparing for week 14, man. That's going to be a brutal one.
Start planning this.
It might be, it might be
before you get that.
winner get in too at that time. So make sure you're paying attention to that stuff. So we'll try to help you out through it again. And then so like we said, we got 3 games on Thanksgiving: the Bears in Detroit, or Detroit Lions. You got the Giants at the Cowboys, then you got Dolphins at the Packers, and then you have the Black Friday game, Raiders at Chiefs, and then the Monday Night Football game that week is going to be Browns at Broncos, and then a good amount of games on Sunday. So let's get to the news and notes, man. You want to go through these news and notes here? Or you want to do the? Yeah. I'll do the 2 topics, and then you could run through the injuries. Sure. So Jets head coach Jeff Ulbrich said there has been no discussion about shutting down Aaron Rodgers, despite the reports. What's that?
That you went over the buys, but did you go over the games or no?
Yeah, just literally read that off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, remember I said Browns at Broncos on Monday, and then a whole slate of games on Sunday. Yeah. All right. Okay. That's all right. That's all right.
I was like somewhere else.
It's fine. You fell into your stats. You were getting ready for the next part.
Yeah.
Jets head coach Jeff Ulbrich said there's been no discussion about shutting down Aaron Rodgers, despite the reports, which I alluded to earlier. He said Rodgers will start at quarterback on Sunday against Seattle. So there were the reports coming out about Rodgers. There were reports about Rodgers coming out. Reports about Rodgers that came out saying like, oh, they were trying to like bench him, or even trade him or move past him, possibly cut him. He said he wants to play again next year, but not for the Jets. Like, there's been a lot of stuff that's been kind of reported on, so to speak. But apparently everything's all good to go. And Aaron Rodgers is going to play on Sunday. So just, who thought there was going to be drama with Aaron Rodgers and with the Jets, man? I mean, is that shocking at all, or what's your quick take?
It's who cares? Like, really, we've already learned our lesson. We're not starting him. He's not fantasy viable. It's just, drama.
In a pure football sense, it's just drama.
Like you got the coach fired, you got the GM fired, you got over Devontae Adams over there. I mean,
and then now you're gonna leave.
Now you leave. Like,
you brought him over there, and then now you
want to hear the rest of it. Like,
he was chilling in Vegas in the desert.
On him, like, to just in case he was actually comes back and does something decent. But like, at this point, he's one of the ones that stayed in a little bit too long in the league. Should have left after his injury and retired and called it a day. Like, now he came back and kind of, put some shoddy numbers out there. He does do some things, like, you know what I mean? Like, here and there, but like, honestly, like, he's just not the guy that he used to be at all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he only had a short window to keep going with the Jets, and some of it got used up on that injury. Like, literally comes in there, plays like half a game, and goes half a quarter. What was it?
Like 4 snaps, man. It was like 4 snaps.
Like whatever it was, like ridiculous. short, nothing. It's gone.
Exactly.
So we're done with that. We're done with all that. Anything that's happening, it's just really hurting the other guy, the younger guys there, like, Allen and who's the wide receiver? I keep thinking Pickens, but it's not Wilson. That's who's really damaging. I think, the value is like going down because they don't have a decent quarterback, because this guy will eat up the time. because they'll have to pay him next year. They played him, pay him enough, right? It was 1 more year or 2 more years on that
Something
contract.
like that. He took a pay cut, like 34 million or something. It was
Okay.
ridiculous. Yeah.
I don't even care. So
Anyway, I don't even care. We've already spent enough time on that. Daniel Jones, he was released, of course, over the weekend, and it sounds like he's probably going to clear waivers. No one wants to pick up his contract, and says he wants to play for a playoff team. So I don't know if that means like backing someone up. Like maybe he thinks so if the person gets hurt, he'll at least be in the playoffs to go from there. And specifically, he came out and said no to the Raiders. So, things started murmuring, with the Gardner Minshew injury, him being out for the season. So they're like, oh, maybe they're going to go after, Daniel Jones. But he even said no to the Raiders. Daniel Jones, my guy. All right. My kind of guy.
A couple teams, I forgot who it was that they were interested in. And I'm like, I don't think you're the kind of guy that can say no.
I think the
to
Niners
any
were
team.
kind of interested in Daniel Jones. Oh god, that would be so brutal after everything I said
you guys
about
are
him.
like,
Can you
what are you
imagine?
guys down to? Who, like,
Well, they
who
were
you guys
talking
got?
about you guys too. I mean, you guys need a quarterback too for this year.
Yeah, no, that's talking crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
no
they're
thanks.
talking crazy. Just take the
Give me
L's.
Trey Lance, right?
Yeah.
We'll take Trey Lance.
Yeah, give you some Trey Lance. Honestly, Cooper Rush finally, dusted off some rust off of him, as I mentioned last.
He just put up
That's
32
podcast.
points.
He had some decent games in the past. Had some some rust to knock off, but he was looking better against the Washington Commanders. He was able to get some passes in there and do some things, albeit with their again depleted O-line and everything else that we got going on. The defense got a little bit better, so he was able to hang in there. And again, we got another easy matchup with the Giants next. I mean, his team that he's leaving, I don't think they're going to bring him in and start him anyway, so it doesn't matter. Like, it's going to be Cooper Rush next week. Rico Dowdle was a really good beneficiary of that. So he has another really good matchup next week as well. So definitely be firing him up.
Yeah, we'll get to that here, Quincy, in just a second. We're just going to run through our injuries, and of course, we'll discuss that injury as well too. So yeah, man. So just that quick on Daniel Jones. Again, didn't even want to spend that much time on Daniel Jones, but we had to talk about it. So yeah, you want to run through the quick injury reads here?
Yeah. So again, quickly, we were just talking about him. Cowboys quarterback Cooper Rush, knee limited and walkthrough, but he thinks he'll be fine on for Thursday. I think he will be playing. Wouldn't worry about that. 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy. He did some light throwing today without issue. According to Kyle Shanahan, he'll rest tomorrow, and then he'll see how he feels as the week goes on. So they're keeping an eye on him, bringing him by slowly. So I think he'll be all right. Yeah, it's looking pointing towards yes. So Raiders quarterback Gardner Minshew did get a broken collarbone. He will be out for the season. I said that Aiden Connell thumb is ramping things up. So so he should be coming back here. So Aiden O'Connell. But Gardner Mitchell's done. Who do they got over there that they were starting? With the Raiders?
That was it.
No, they were starting somebody else. So what was the other young guy?
Aiden O'Connell.
Oh, no, that was another guy. Never mind. Aiden O'Connell. But yeah, so obviously Aiden O'Connell will be the next man up over there. Let's see what happens. Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence, shoulder practice today, and left shoulder injury that prevented him from playing the teams the past 2 games. And then Jacksonville, we'll see if he's well enough to play on Sunday versus the Texans. So we keep an eye on him. Hopefully he comes back. It does help some of the other guys on the team, like we were talking about BTJ over there and things like that. And the running game even kind of helps release some stress on that for Chuba and things like that. The Lions running back David Montgomery's shoulder left and never returned, so he'll say he'll be fine for Thursday. So hopefully he is. Again, another guy that I had on my team that died on the game.
Scored 13 points before he left.
Yeah,
so.
before he left. Yeah, exactly. At least he got some time in there.
Scored a touchdown. He'll take
his
it.
counterpart there. And I'm just still reeling about that. Chargers running back J.K. Dobbins knee
getting chopped. Getting chopped tomorrow, Frank. Tomorrow morning. You're going to see every one of your players just hit the wire. Boom, boom. The purge is coming.
I'll keep track. I think Neanderthal all got it in the bag, man. He's undefeated. He's most points scored. Decent, very solid team.
And almost out last week. He had his close call, so you think that's the one he dodged it? He dodged
the bullet already, so he's good.
All right. Anyway, go ahead.
Running back Brian Robinson Jr. Again, another guy that
Oh,
was
no,
just
right before
mentioned.
that.
Oh yeah, Chargers. Oh, yeah, no, I mentioned that Chargers. J.K. Dobbins' knee left the game, did not return.
So I
So
just want
that's
to
why.
keep it there for a second. Yeah. So we looking at Gus for Dobbins according to
Yeah,
Quincy here. I just want to get to Quincy's. Yeah. So he's definitely going to come in and be the backup if J.K. can't go. Him or Kamani Vidal will probably be a split. In your PPR leagues, maybe you lean more Vidal. If Gus was kind of taken, he was on our waiver wire show. I think the last 2 weeks, since he kind of came back, we always said, go get him because J.K. Dobbins hasn't really lasted this long in the season so far. And sure enough, here he goes again. Hopefully it's nothing serious, but as mentioned earlier, it looks like he left the stadium in a boot. So, yeah, and we'll have some other running backs here, Quincy, for you if you hang around. We'll get to our running back ads for the week. So, so go ahead, Brian Robinson. You were saying
Brian Robinson ankle left the game, returned and re-aggravated it, and did not finish. Played only 12 snaps. Head coach Quinn said that they're taking it the wait and see approach. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on that as we go through the week and see if he practices to be able to start on Sunday here. Um, also, the Commanders running back Austin Eckler concussion protocol. So he just left after that one as well. Basically, they lost their two running backs, so now they're only down to McNichols. So that's the waiver wire ad. So we're going to be talking about him soon enough. The Colts wide receivers, Josh Downs, another one of my guys. Again, they're literally reading off my team of these guys run by, and these guys just got injured during the game. Colts wide receivers.
you had to
Josh
relive.
Downs.
You're reliving it right now.
Reliving it literally. Shoulder is considered week to week and is a long shot to play on Sunday against the Patriots. But the belief is that he did not suffer a major injury, so that's awesome for him. He's been up and coming. I've had offers for him in our dynasty league because I had him for a while, waiting for him to come through. And hopefully this quarterback play gets a little bit better for him to be shining what he needs to be doing
You're
here.
so high while you can.
No, he's a good player. He's gonna be good. He's just fine. None of that. Packers wide receiver Romeo Dobbs concussion protocol, and it's going through to clear in time for Thursday's game. So I don't think he's gonna clear. I mean, that's gonna be too short of a window for that. So it'll be tough for
You
him.
guys are not
Probably
even
be
really
looking
clear
at
because Sunday
Dontavian
game.
Wicks to come get some touches out of that room back there. Um, Lions, Amon-Ra St. Brown, his knee did not practice, expected to be ready for Thursday. So hopefully, again, just give him the veteran rest day. He doesn't need to be out there, just kind of do the walkthroughs really, and not really be in pads and doing all
It's
that he needs to
estimated
do so he
practice
stays
participation.
healthy because the Lions are rolling. They are moving right along. So they're the playoff team here. So you got the Browns wide receiver Cedric Tillman concussion. So he's in the concussion protocol. We'll see how he does. See if he plays for Sunday. Cowboys tight end Jake Ferguson remains in concussion protocol, so it's unlikely to play Thursday because, again, we are playing on a short week, and I still have his counterpart on our waiver wire, which we'll be talking about here pretty soon. But yeah, hey, that's basically injured news and notes. Basically, half my team on here, and that's how that's how you
Couldn't
get
be too much. That's tough, Frank. That's tough.
Yeah.
I feel bad for you, man. And when your guillotine link runs out, man, there's something you can always do, man. You could go shoot over to underdogfantasy.com.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's the easiest place that you could play fantasy sports, man. We enjoy their best ball tournaments, of course, and then live stream those all off season. And for those who don't know, best ball leagues are just leagues where you basically draft them, and that's it. There's no season long time commitment, no waivers, no trades, no weekly lineup setting, and you can basically draft hundreds of teams that way because it doesn't replace your managed leagues. If anything, it just helps prepare you to understand player values and ADP for your regular home league drafts, which is what I love about it. It's made me even better in drafting my teams. And then of course, like we said, when you're out of the guillotine league, man, come try out their pick 'em contest, man. You just simply pick higher or lower on player stats like rushing, receiving yards, and touchdowns. So make sure you guys go sign up now and use that promo code GetRight. And when you do, you'll get that 50% deposit match up to $1,000 in bonus cash. And not only that, you will get a special pick 'em entry, which this week up until Thursday is going to be the Jordan Love plus or higher or lower than a half a total yard. So yeah, man, I mean, it's
a free pick.
Basically a free pick, man. So make sure you guys use that promo code GetRight. Go download the app, anywhere you can download from your app store, make that first deposit, and come join us for a contest today.
Yeah,
Underdog
best
Fantasy,
balls are
man.
the best, man. I mean, they do warm you up for the season, like you mentioned, and these guys are just not. It's not just doing a draft because people got skin in the game. They got money in there. They're trying to win some money.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's
not
not
just a
like they're
mock.
just
Like
auto. It's not just
yeah,
like auto drafting where the computer's doing the rest of the picking. You'll start seeing some trends develop, and you'll start seeing certain players rise up or get taken earlier, or be taken at all. Like you may not even have thought of that guy, and be like, oh, and you start looking, investigating, and see what's this guy all about.
yeah.
So hey, there's some good content to be
18
had.
rounds.
So
Yeah, it's good
good
stuff.
knowledge to learn through doing. What? How many did you do this year? 60 something.
64.
Woo!
64.
I
Yeah.
only got like 10.
So man, it's 64. Our boy Phil, man, he has like hundreds, man. He got to the hundreds mark. So
Oh
I'm
wow!
trying to get to that shield, man. I'm trying to get to the shield on underdog. So hopefully I'll get
There you
there.
go.
Got to get to 500. So
You gotta get the wins. That's how you gotta get the real shield. Get that win shield.
yeah. I don't really care about the shield. They just want to win, man. Yeah, but I mean, I did place 42nd out of 70,000
Yeah,
people last year.
that's a huge number.
In one of their big tournaments. So man, it was just a $3 injury. It was a lot of fun. I made a couple $100 off of $3. So it was good, man. So yeah, make sure you guys go check out Underdog for real. All right. Anyway, let's get to these waiver wire ads, man.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
do
what
it.
people come here. Waiver time.
That's what we're here for. We're at the 36-minute mark. I'm sure we could get through these here. So why don't you tell me who are some quarterbacks you're looking to grab here in week 13? No teams on a bye, so most folks are going to be out there. So, are these guys you're kind of sneaking into that QB1 potential range or maybe top 15?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a couple of guys here. Not sure which way I should start this, but I'll just go from the bottom up here. Derek Carr completed 21 to 27 passes, 248 yards, 2 touchdowns. Very low ownership percentage, 12% on Yahoo, 13% on ESPN. He was hot early in the season, got injured, left, he was out. But now he's back. The team looks like they're back in their stride again because they started hot and seemed to falter and kind of, take a couple wrong steps there, but they seem like they're back in the groove. So I'd be looking at Derek Carr possibly there. Do you want me to go all three or just one at a time? What are we doing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
No rush.
Another guy we got going on, Jameis Winston with the Browns, 18 to 27, 207, 19 yards with one interception, but he did get one on the ground. With 8% on Yahoo, 10% on ESPN. I don't have the sleeper number, but Jameis Winston's been pretty good for the Browns. Different chase of pace guy after his counterpart went down for the season, so definitely keep an eye on him and or pick him up
22%
if you need to.
on sleeper.
22% on sleeper. See, very low
Yep.
ownership
And
percent on
Carr
these
was
guys.
18% on sleeper.
Nice. And the last guy I got here, and I think we've mentioned him a couple times before, is Drake May. Completed 22 of 37, 221 yards, one touchdown, and one interception. 13% on Yahoo, 22% on ESPN. I don't
30%
have
on sleeper.
13 or 30.
30, yeah.
30%
So you just
on
leave
sleeper.
a pause and then boom, I'll just throw the percentage and then you keep
There you
going.
go.
Like we'll get in that groove
So
soon.
yeah, those are good guys to be looking at. Should be widely available in your leagues, as you can see. Very low ownership percentage numbers on these guys. And I wouldn't say if you need them for a buy this week because we don't have any buys, but I mean, if you had some injuries going on, I did read like 5-6 quarterbacks. I think Raiders quarterbacks, the Jaguars, who's the 49ers and Cowboys all. But the 49er Cowboys should probably be playing there. But I mean, it's
Well, no,
been
I
tough
mean,
times lately.
these guys you mentioned, I'm playing over Cooper Rush. I mean, the only reason we're playing Cooper Rush last week was the bye weeks, man. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Well, I had to do what I had to do and what I had.
Yeah. Hey, I was there. I'm not gonna lie, dude. There's a couple spots in the Superflex leagues, man, where I had to start Cooper Rush, and there was a couple where I started a position player instead.
Yeah,
just to even things out a little bit. But yeah, man. So yeah, a lot of these guys, again, have that potential to, again, Carr, like you're saying, coming off those back-to-back 20-point games, a lot of that has to do with MVS, who I'm sure we'll get to here when we talk wide receivers. So a couple quarterbacks I'm going to mention. One of them, Caleb Williams, came out and actually had a pretty decent game here this week. 53% owned here on sleeper, so he could be someone you're maybe looking at, maybe kind of stash him, just depending on how things kind of go. Again, no bye weeks going on, but someone again as you kind of prepare to go into your playoffs, possibly. Just to kind of have someone there as a backup. It's, I would rather have Caleb than, again, not to pile on, but like a Cooper Rush or, a Brandon Allen. Like, you don't want to be, resorting to those type of guys in the playoffs if you can afford not to, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Caleb Williams gets
those guys,
yeah, exactly.
You have the opportunity to.
Right. Caleb Williams gets at Minnesota week 15, home against Detroit, and then home against Seattle. So those should be, good opportunities, good offenses that'll be facing to where, their defense is going to usually keep it close. So you should see the pass attempts there. And that was the biggest thing is he attempted 47 passes against Minnesota here this last week. And again, put up 30.9 points and a 6-point per passing touchdown, had 6 carries for 33 yards as well, too, 340 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. So, but, mind you, he has, had a couple 6 and 9 point, games in the last 4 weeks as well, too. So just, highs and lows there, which is why he's still available. So yeah, Caleb Williams, another guy. These are just guys, that I've kind of been mentioning before, some of your higher roster percentage guys. Matt Stafford's out there in 60% of leagues. Geno Smith is out there in 58% of leagues. Winston, again's right out in the middle of that 22%. I had him as well. But maybe for some of those deeper leagues, again, Desmond Ridder might be the guy for the Raiders here, at least for this next week, if you are in dire straits. Again, Cooper Rush
That's
is
the
out
other
there.
Raider guy, dude. That's the guy that I can.
Oh, Ridder? Oh, okay. My bad.
That's all good.
I
just couldn't think of his name.
Okay. Cooper Rush at 8%. Like we were already mentioning, you have Russell Wilson still 43% rostered out there. So he's out of there, or he's available out there in a good 60% or almost 60% of leagues. And then in some shorter leagues, look at maybe Will Levis. He's had a couple good games, and actually Bryce Young looked fairly decent this weekend in Carolina, giving the Chiefs a run for their money, man, over there, making that a game.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
they went to overtime.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. Like that was really interesting. And again, to the Broncos and to the Carolina Panthers, man. And I'm just gonna be pissed because like Niners haven't beat the Chiefs like in the last 4 times they've played them, and then so if Carolina or the Broncos would have beat them, I would just be livid. So yeah, so
you guys are crazy though. You guys put out Brandon Allen with a broken thumb on his non-throwing hand, but the ball is just slipping out of his hand because he has this metal stick on his finger or whatever.
The pastronaut is just that bad now.
So you guys are probably gonna pick up Daniel Jones and start Daniel Jones next week or something.
No way. Put the pastronaut in there if we need to.
Put that out in the ether. Just get Daniel Jones over to the 49ers.
No, man. Let's not talk that into existence. So yeah, man. Bryce Young 10% owned out there in your sleeper leagues. Maybe he's coming around. So we'll see.
Yeah. We've been waiting for it.
Yeah, we have been waiting. All right, so let's get into some running backs, man. Look, who are some of the running back names we're looking to add here in week 13? Man, week 13. Who you got?
Number one guy I think we should have is our mirror.
I mean, it's McNichols, right? He's on the. I mean, he's on the thumbnail.
The thumbnail, right?
He's on the thumbnail.
I mean, Jeremy Nichols.
0% owned on sleeper.
ESPN, Yahoo's 1% sleeper, or 1% Yahoo, 1.2% on ESPN. I mean, both Bijan, Brian Robinson Jr. and Austin Eckler are injured, right? Austin Eckler got the concussion. Brian Robinson, what was this injury? I forget what it is, like a knee or whatever it was that we just talked about. Ankle. Let's see if they don't come back. I mean, this guy basically has a running room back by himself. He's the only guy. I was looking at the depth chart because you mentioned the other guy. I was like, there's not even anybody else on the depth chart. So he's going to get the touches over there in the Commanders' backfield, and it's pretty decent offense. They've been putting up some decent points. The other thing my concern is McDaniels could run in the goal line yardage basically. Could take it himself and run it in. That's the only worry that I would have about that. But he's definitely going to get some looks or touches if these two guys are out. So yeah, probably the number one guy. Amir Abdullah, running back, Las Vegas, another guy here. Rushed for 28 yards on 8 carries. to the loss to Denver, but he caught 5 of 6 targets for 37 yards and 1
Good
touchdown.
power.
Alexander Madison and Zamir White injured, so if they can't return this week, Abdullah will be playable. So another guy that you want to be looking at.
Had his parts start him in
19.3% on
several places.
ESPN, 31% on Sleeper, and 24% on Yahoo. So widely available. You should be able to find that guy. I think you picked this guy up right here. I have here on my list is Roshan Johnson here in the
Got going on
Bears.
there.
Yeah, so he's
Looks like the goal line back over there. Swift dealing with the groin injury.
yeah. I mean, he carried the ball 2 times for 2 yards and 1 touchdown. Literally, like the bus numbers here. Where he had like 5
Lindell White
touchdowns with like 1
Jr.
yard almost
Yeah.
that year. It was
And then
crazy.
Chris Johnson and Lindell White. Like Chris Johnson literally break for like a 69-yard run,
Yeah,
get tackled in the 5, and then here comes Lindell
Lindell
for the
White just go,
touchdown.
"Boom,
Yeah.
let me get the
It
touchdown
was
real
the
quick. Let
worst.
me
He
get
was the ultimate
from you."
vulture. Like he was
Vulturing
literally
the
the
whole time.
ultimate vulture. He was the worst vulture ever. Imagine
No,
like
so
CK would have just broken all kind of records, dude, if Lindell White
yeah,
wasn't there.
yeah.
That
If you
dude
would
would
have
have
just
had
allowed him
because
to
he
get
was
his
still like
touchdowns,
he was still a number 1 fantasy pick with Lindell
regardless of
White
that,
there.
yeah,
Like
yeah. Regardless of that,
imagine if
right?
he had those little 2-yard touchdowns. Oh
Yeah,
man.
he just needed that. He
Anyway,
just needed one more
God,
play.
I
I mean,
just
the guy
dated
was running all
myself
the way
with
down there. He needed a breather, right? He did need a breather at some point.
man, Chris
um,
Johnson,
so
RB1.
he did
Remember
catch
that?
his lone target for 10 yards, and he basically remains a little bit more than a touchdown dependent. Uh, option available right there. But obviously running back behind that Swift there is the lead back. But I mean, if you're in a tight spot, somebody you might be looking at. And one guy for handcuff reasons at all is just Trey Benson. I just want to mention him. Runs the ball
All your
4 times for
handcuffs.
18
Yeah.
yards. He's just a
Brandon
handcuff guy, but
Allen.
just in
Yeah.
case. There's a lot of guys like that. Yeah, like you said, Brandon Allen,
Corum.
and things like that. Blake Corum. You might want to
Just
start
all of them.
getting some of those guys up, and if you have the
Take
running the
Bigsby.
room, because if your guys go down, these guys are going to be the next man up, and you don't want to be dealing with some kind of crazy situation as you go into the playoffs. You want to be able to readily have your backup ready to plug and play for these kind of situations.
Yeah.
So yeah,
This time of year is when I start to like handcuffing my own running backs, because if you do make it through the game, at least you're not fighting somebody for fab or waiver wire for your own running back there. And so especially if it's a running back that is of the ilk that we feel will get the usage, because sometimes the next man up isn't necessarily the next man up. They're not going to run the offense through that guy, but your Trey Benson's, when he's had his touches, he looks like he can have that load. And we know Arizona wants to run the ball. Like, the same thing with Corum. Like, he's going to be the guy. If anything were to happen to Kyron, Sean McVay, you want that running back in that offense. Same thing, Jordan Mason, make sure you go and get him in case anything were to happen to McCaffrey. He may have been dropped several places coming off the bye. And with CMC, fairly healthy and all these bye weeks going on, go snag Jordan Mason if you can. So, just guys like that, all the handcuffs, I think we need to have a good little extra mention for. So a couple guys you didn't mention, I'm going to go with the low-hanging fruit and Gus Edwards. Obviously we did our prep, prior to the Monday night game. So I kind of snuck him in last minute, 29% owned here on Sleeper. We kind of talked about him here, at length earlier when we were going through some of the questions. But of course, if J.K. Dobbins does miss, at least this next game or any extended time in this Harbaugh offense, Greg Roman, offense, like you're going to want the running back there. He will get, those goal line carries. Probably not going to catch anything. That's probably going to be more the Vidal role. So he could potentially be an option for those PPR leagues out there. He's only 7% rostered right now. And of course has been a healthy scratch with Gus back from IR. But of course, again, with Dobbins, if he is out, Vidal will be the RB2 there and more than
I think
probably
this goes to Quincy Davis' question, right? I'm in the playoffs, not the Bijan owner. Running backs is Kyron and Corum, Tracy and Algier. Would you drop one of these players for Gus or come on of it all? I don't say Algier.
I mean, maybe Algier.
Or you could let go your handcuff with Corum because that Gus and Vidal are going to get some touches.
Yeah, but like if it's only like a 1 or 2 week injury, like I think Algier has a higher upside if Bijan were to go down versus the upside that Gus has with Dobbins down right now. So it just depends if you need somebody right now, which you shouldn't. If you have Kyron and Tracy, like you're starting those guys, you're not starting Gus or Vidal over either one of those two. But if you want to switch and grab Gus for Algier, maybe package Gus to the J.K. Dobbins owner, 2-for-1 upgrade somewhere else, and then go grab Algier again. You know, you can always go that route as well, unless you're
trade Algier to the Bijan owner so he can get his own handcuff.
Yeah.
And that's who's
Unless your trades
more
are done.
interested in. Yeah.
Keep forgetting trades are done.
More than likely done. Then he's like always in trade mode.
Yeah,
But
sorry.
hopefully that answers your question there, Quincy.
All right, so a couple of running backs got a little sidetracked there, but that's what we love doing, man. Keep the questions coming in the chat. Jaylen Warren, man, 62% owned on Sleeper. You know, had a decent game here as well. You know, he's someone, again, when we're talking, you know, kind of handcuffs, but even Warren has some standalone, you know, value. He's going to get you 7, 8, 9 points. Sometimes that's what you need. And then every once in a while, again, like this week here, 11 for 45 and a touchdown. When he scores that touchdown, he's going to put you over into double digits, 14 or 15.4 this week. And again, 3 catches on 5 targets, only 19 yards, but again, getting 5 targets against Cleveland and playing at Cincinnati, at Cleveland again, then Philly, then Baltimore, then Kansas City for the championship. So those are tough matchups, but also offenses that can put up points. And if they're trailing or behind, or kind of playing that up-tempo offense, it most likely will be Jaylen Warren in there and not Najee. So that's what I kind of like about Warren as well. If you're in a tough spot, need a spot start somebody or have someone go down, it might be a good option to just kind of throw in there, even on a quote-unquote bad matchup, because he is playing that, you know, kind of third down role, but can also, you know, run it as well for fairly good efficiency, you know, over 4 yards per carry. So Jaylen Warren. One other guy I think I didn't hear you mention was Tank Bigsby, 43% owned coming off the bye week. Again, with how bad kind of ETN played heading into the bye week, we all thought Peterson probably was going to get fired, but maybe they kind of just, you know, refreshed, hit the reset button. You know, they had an extra week to prepare with Mac Jones, and or, you know, if you get Trevor back, that should help out. But, you know, Bigsby was kind of taking over, you know, this offense. We thought, once Bigsby was out of the question and ETN would get the work, he would outproduce him, but that was a terrible game. And so obviously everybody got hurt. I mean, it was just a bad showing for the Jags there. But yeah, Tank Bigsby got dropped, you know, across the board. Again, being hurt and then having a bye week for 2 weeks, he might be available before you go pick up. So you might have the original owner trying to go get it back. So just be aware of that. So bid accordingly. Nice. And I think that's pretty much it. We can wrap it up. Yeah, wrap it up there. So, so let's move on to
people. So yeah, we'll get to you here enough.
For sure, yeah. So wide receivers, Frank. Who you got? Wide receivers for week 13
here. Not too much, man. Honestly, Devon Villay, wide receiver for running Denver Broncos. There caught 6 to 9, 8 yards. So you know, just not much there, but it's like 1% Yahoo, 2% ESPN, low ownership percentage. He's been getting more target share over there at the Broncos. Bro Nix is throwing it around some, so somebody to be looking at to possibly snatch up.
He's that tall slot receiver, kind of like a Puka, kind of like a Chris Godwin. Like he's one of those big slot receivers. Yeah. And Bo Nix has been playing pretty well. You know, they don't have a tight end in that same area. So Vele's been that guy. You know, Sutton's the stretcher, and they got Vele working underneath. And, you know, Mims and Franklin will trade off stretching and 3 wide sets. So, yeah.
And then the next guy I got going on here is Dontavian Wicks. Romeo Dobbs suffered that concussion, so he got 1 pass for 25 yards, but he's had some good spurts in the past, even with these guys healthy. So he could get it done. Here's somebody to pick up if you need somebody at the wide receiver position, or maybe you had Dobbs go down. You have the 22% on Yahoo, 9% on ESPN. What do we got on Sleeper on that one?
19% on Sleeper.
So very low ownership percentage on this guy. Keep an eye on him. Another guy that was basically playing a revenge game over here against the Cowboys and Noah
Hey
Brown.
now. Hey now.
Yeah. I mean, he put up some numbers too against the Commanders there. Cowboys with the Commanders here caught 6 to 10 targets, 71 yards there in that game. And he's been getting some looks over there at the Washington Commanders. Again with these running backs maybe going down, maybe he gets a little bit of extra work there in the air. 13% on Yahoo, 11% on ESPN. What do we got on Sleeper?
For Noah Brown, 19%.
19%. So there you go. Those are my three here. We're just looking at some of these guys. They give you some opportunity. Not it's not the best as what we had in the past. You know what I mean? Like it's getting slim pickings as we go further and further into the season. But sometimes you have to take what's available out there if you have injuries or something else going on. At least we're by some of the bye weeks this week, but they could prepare you for the week after when there is a bye NATO again. So it's a good time to take some of these guys up.
There you go, man. One of the guys you didn't mention was the guy on the thumbnail. Thanks for leaving him for me this time. Nick Westbrook-Akine, man. 21%.
I didn't want to mention that guy. You know why? And I want to mention this real quick. The Ranger take on him, but
no, go ahead.
It seems like every year around this time we bring this dude up, and like you missed out on him already. Whatever he did, it's like a one-hit wonder. Like as far as I'm concerned, like I don't know. I just don't see him producing more than what he's done. Like I don't know. Every year around this time, it's like it's this guy, right? No, you don't remember him. I remember picking him up already like 2 seasons past, and I'm like, why do we keep bringing this guy up? But anyways,
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he's basically just on a touchdown run, right? I mean, over this stretch of 7 games, he scored a touchdown in 6 of 7 games, which is why he's out there. He hasn't had more than 5 catches in a game, but really that was only one game where he went 5 for 6. Every other game, he's basically averaging 2 catches a game on this. But on those 2 catches, he's put up 48 yards, 117 in the touchdown, 31, 51, 39, 10, and 9 yards, and has basically scored 4 out of the last 7 double digit, including almost a 20-point game against Minnesota when he caught that big touchdown. So yeah, it's crazy. Like he's just going to get 1 or 2 catches, and one of them's probably going to be for a touchdown. He gets Washington next. He gets Jacksonville after that, playoffs, or Cincinnati at Indy at Jacksonville. Like he's going to keep scoring touchdowns. Like, I mean, if he's doing it now, like, I mean, come on. And again, that's why I mentioned Will Levis as a potential pickup, as well. Again, you have some bye weeks or stuff coming up, or just want to have a guy. If your quarterback, heaven forbid, does go down in the playoffs, he's someone who's going to have, decent matchups, and, has Ridley, has Westbrook-Akine, has Pollard, maybe potentially has Spears healthy at the time as well too. And, fairly decent defense. So, they're going to keep it close. And, those teams I mentioned are, shootout worthy type teams. So, yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at his the depth chart, and he is number 2 behind Calvin Ridley. I mean,
now that they moved away from Hopkins, Tyler Boyd hasn't done anything. Yeah, Tyler Boyd's done nothing.
Yeah, no, he has nothing. No, yeah, exactly.
And Chig's not doing anything either. So they have no tight end.
He had one good catch this last weekend. I remember he came out.
Yeah,
but I mean that's one. Like you're saying, man, this guy's getting 1 or 2 catches.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's what he did. He had 1 target for 70 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. Shout out to the standard leagues right there, baby. That's what you're looking for in standard leagues. Yeah. Like he should be the number 1 waiver pickup in standard leagues.
Yeah.
All right. So that's one. The other guy I'll mention is Marvin Harrison. I just see the M and I go crazy. MVS. Yes. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. 36% owned, coming off the bye week. But remember those 2 crazy games he had coming off the bye. That's why you mentioned Derek Carr's potential pickup. MVS has a lot to do with those numbers in those 20-point games for Derek Carr, which you actually called him Derek Carr instead of David Carr for once. That was a little weird. Right? I was like, whoa, that was weird. It's like the first time I didn't correct you. And so yeah, so again, just MVS, man. Again, you don't want to kind of rely on it, but if you're in a tough situation, obviously he's done with this bye, and maybe throw him in
I
there.
mean, who do
if
they
you
got over there? I
need a
mean, they
Hail
got
Mary.
MVS, Cedric Wilson. I mean, Chris Olave's
That's
down.
it. Yeah,
Tipton's
Olave's still
down.
2
Me,
games.
Equinese St. Brown down. Like, and they got Taysom Hill. Like, literally, you got to come here.
Well, we'll get into Taysom Hill here in a second. But yeah, so Marquez Valdez Scantling and what is who else do I
Who else
have?
you got?
Just some other guys. Jalen Coker, I think is how you say it. Jalen Coker over with the Panthers. He's 7% owned. He was not available here this week. David Moore stepped up and replaced him in his role. And that role with David Moore scored 6 receptions on 10 targets for 81 yards and a touchdown. Again, we said Bryce Young's starting to look a little better, in this game. Again, tough matchup against a tough defense. Maybe they just didn't take him serious. I don't know, what the situation was going on. But, looked like a competent offense. So I think with what we saw with Jalen Coker coming before he went out, and then what we've seen production out of that, position. You got Adam Thielen there, you got Xavier Leggett, but Coker could be that slot guy to, soak up some of those targets for Bryce Young. So I like maybe taking a stab on him and stashing him away. So not someone I'm looking to maybe start immediately, but could be stashed away there. So I'll just stick with those guys for now. Let's move on to tight ends, man. Who you got for tight ends?
Yeah, so which is crazy. I don't understand how this is possible, but Noah Gray here with tight ends, the Chiefs.
What's going on?
Just
Why is he taking all
replacing
Kelsey's
Kelsey?
stats?
Some kind of literally second week in a row with 2 touchdowns here. Got 4 targets, 66 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He has 4 touchdowns over the last 2 games. I mean, like I said, it's ownership percentage super low, 1.8 on ESPN, 6% on Sleeper, and 4% on Yahoo. It's just hard to tell people, hey, go after this guy when you have
you can't really, right?
Kelsey over here, right? But I mean, 2 touchdowns
spot
and then 2 touchdowns back to back. It's kind of hard not to tell you that, hey, this guy. And I've seen him get picked up already last week, and it was just kind of like, ooh, did somebody start him? Did they have to, get
6 teams on the bye? A couple people got happy.
Somebody
with that.
did, and they got happy. They got 2 touchdowns out of this guy.
That's how I felt when I started Taysom Hill the week before.
Yeah, it's just tough because, I want to say maybe he is the replacement of Kelsey. I mean, Kelsey's getting old, man. He's up on the years. It's kind of like the was a couple times that with Dalton Kincaid and what's his name? Because he was taking his licks, not letting Kincaid come up. But in this case, it's the reverse, where the younger guy is taking the older guy's spot. So it might be
the
continuing
defense
to
is
go.
just focusing on
Kelsey or something.
just
Just kind of leaving this guy open,
Yeah.
which also leads to another good reason to grab him. I mean, that doesn't say that's not a bad detriment to him. That means he's going to be open because they're going to be double teaming Kelsey or definitely looking at Kelsey. But I think teams have woken up to this in the past 2 games. Having that happen, they're going to have to keep an eye on Noah Gray as well.
For sure.
Another guy I was looking at.
You see what Z Money says here, real quick.
Oh, no.
It says what Barkley did to me last night should be illegal. What a comeback win for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're down by 43 and you have Barkley left and you come back and win.
Yeah, that's all bad.
And Monday night, that's awesome, man. And terrible for Z Money, apparently. I don't mean to be laughing at you, but I was on plenty of sides of both of that this week. So 10-8 this week, man. Didn't feel like a good week. Felt like a lot of losing.
I'm like 5-5. I mostly lost because of that guillotine link. So I mean, that's just like a whole downer for me. But the rest of it's like whatever. You know what I mean? But I lasted quite a while. I got to say, I many more weeks than you.
Yeah, I was out week 2, man.
Second week.
Week 2. I just didn't want to go out first.
It was a good first time showing. Good outing. I liked it, man. Definitely try it. I'm definitely going to try even more different types of fantasy because I've seen it open my eyes of just the play that there's out there, the ability to make just this game fun in a different sort of way. Because we've done enough of the regular redraft leagues and now Dynasty and keeper leagues and things. It's just a different type of play.
Keep adding to your arsenal, man. Keep
adding different strategies that you use.
Bro.
Everything is really cool.
It's fun.
And the last guy we were going to mention here at the tight ends, at least for myself here. Did I mention Luke Schumacher? Anyways, Luke Schumacher, tight end, Cowboys here, got 3 of 4 for 55 yards and a touchdown. It's like literally 0% on Yahoo, 11% on ESPN. And, if his counterpart stays down, Jake Ferguson is down. He will be playing on a short week. He may not be clearing the concussion protocol still. So keep an eye on Luke Schoonmaker if you pick him up. Even with Cooper Rush there, he seems to be the target just to dump off to him. So he's available, widely available there. And the last guy that I have here is Taysom Hill, New Orleans. He was just on the bye, so nothing last week, but should be available. He had rushed for 138 yards and 3 touchdowns on 7 carries. Ownership percentages is at 53% on Yahoo, 53% on ESPN. So he's still just under the threshold there, and he's my guy. I mean, I've mentioned him for years. Anthony knows that I like to have this guy just because he's a slash player. He's a baller. I mean, the fact that they just put him in the tight end, I think is sweet because now he's like basically a running back. He could be a wide receiver. He could even take over as quarterback. I think the guy could probably even punt the ball or kick the ball and kick a field goal too.
You wanted him to kick a field goal so bad.
Yeah, I think he can do it all. It would be awesome. So definitely, if he's available for you guys, I would be. He's kind of hot. Like he's coming in.
Blake Groupie goes down. Send in Taysom
Right?
for the 53-yarder to win the game.
That
He
would be
nails
awesome.
it. Or it's
That would be
blocked and he just picks it up and runs
Just
it in.
runs
for a
it in anyways,
touchdown.
right? Just runs it in anyways. Oh yeah, that's all I needed. Bet it off your hands,
man.
catches it, runs it in.
Oh, man. Good stuff.
got-
The only
what he's
guy,
got to-
just to finish up tight ends, man, so we could just get to the chat and get this
Yeah,
thing, get out of here, and enjoy our holiday week, man. Zach Ertz, man. Zach Ertz, 63% owned out there in sleeper leagues. And it's just, been putting up, consistent numbers, at least for, tight end. Has some single digit games in there, but, basically like a 7-8 kind of point floor every once in a while, throw in a, 1-pointer or a 3-pointer here and there, but what tight end hasn't? But, a lot of the times he's giving you at least double digits. So 18.7 against Philly, 15.5 here against Dallas, gets Tennessee. The only bad thing is he does have a week 14 bye. So it does suck to kind of head into week 15, waivers with 2 tight ends, so to speak. So just kind of keep that in mind. But, if you need a spot start for week 13 against Tennessee, hit up your boy Zach Ertz. Might get some points there for you, especially with those running backs going down. Could be some more opportunities.
Yeah. So yeah, it's tough times, man. On these, let's wrap up for our waiver wire ads, guys. Hopefully you like some of those guys. Start looking at a couple questions that we have here in the chat. I think we were answering at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Kind of change up a format, went old school with you guys here.
Yeah.
Just because
it was one of those nights.
Over, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was one of those nights.
Talking going in. Go ahead.
Shamrock said, "Did we mention Calvin Austin?" Hey, we just did. Next question.
Yeah. Right?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, Calvin Austin, man. Calvin Austin's Calvin Austin, man. He's literally he's like basically a Gabe Davis, 1 point, 19.5, 2 points, 1 point, 5 points, 4 points, 20 points. Like it's just 4 points, 0.9 points, 16 points. Like it's just, it's unpredictable. He could be someone, again, if you're just, again, at only 4% rostered, he's out there. He could be a potential option for you if you just kind of need a Hail Mary play. He's more of kind of one of those best ball type guys that you try to throw in there for the cheap and hope you hit him, on one of those, 20 point, 15, 18 point weeks. But yeah, other than that, as far as like heading into your playoffs or anything like that, he's not necessarily someone, I'm looking to roster. A couple more games maybe, and we'll see. But, almost like Nick Westbrook-Ikine, I mean, this guy's getting the same thing, 1 catch, 2 catch, maybe 3 catches a couple times. But yeah, other than that, it's 1 catch, 2 catch, 3 catch. That's it. So any thoughts on that? Yeah.
It's not something I want to be banking on. Boomer bust, highly boomer bust. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, and it's more bust than boom, honestly. I mean, at least Westbrook-Ikine has had a consistency for the last 5-6 weeks, get at least a touchdown. I mean, 2 catches.
The most non-sticky stat ever touched. Yeah. Like there's so much touchdown regression coming. He shouldn't score another touchdown for like 2 seasons.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
Peanut Breath OG, what's up, man? You got Bijan and Higgins for AJ Brown and Terry.
I'll keep Bijan and Higgins.
You don't want to take AJ Brown?
Yeah, both are back.
Terry?
Yeah, both are off their bye. Doesn't Washington still have their bye? I think I mentioned week 14. Yeah, I'm not getting into any of that.
No, done with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't move on Bijan either way anyway. So
Yeah, and AJ Brown, I've been trying to trade for him in Dynasty, and then the guy wants to like trade him all of a sudden. I kind of like realized that I'm not as high on him as I thought. It just the way that offense has been producing right now, like everything's going through Barkley. Like they don't need to throw until someone can stop them on the ground. Like they don't need, like they just don't need to throw.
yeah, it used to be having to go through AJ Brown.
Yeah,
It used to
and
be.
Hurts isn't. And again, a lot of people are taking away the deep shots, so it's just all that underneath. So yeah, that's why Barkley's just been going nuts because he'll just either Hurts will just run it or he's dumping it off to Barkley, because I mean you have to cover Brown and you have to cover Devonta Smith and Dallas Goedert down the field. I mean you got to, so you're just opening up all the underneath. So yeah, Bijan Higgins for me.
As the many of Barkley, he was up 14 points.
Exactly.
With Hurts Puka playing the spot. So
that's tough, bro. That's
why,
tough.
yeah, stick with Bijan and Higgins. Higgins has been on fire as well lately. I mean, Terry did have that nice touchdown there against Cowboys, but that was just a fluker, anyways. Eli the Reaper here. He started the season.
Hey, he's coming after you,
0-3.
Frank. Got another Reaper in the house. What's up, Eli? I'm Rasta the Reaper, man. Nice
Sitting at 7-5 after this week. Nice. Nice comeback. That happens.
Hey, that's a nice run.
I think somebody else mentioned that over here.
Don't give up at 0-3, baby. You're just getting started. 0-3 was so long ago.
I want to know how this guy is now. I want to know his record all in one show, because it's funny because I had Chase to start the season.
He was 0-4 too.
Yeah, because Chase had a rough start.
See?
But it straightened out the ship. If you stuck with the guy, you're doing a lot better. So
he traded him away. No, he traded him away. That's what he was saying. He said, I traded him away. He went on his run. So now he's debating trading him back. So he's like, do I spend all that capital after trading him away to get him back to make a run? Like, trade you away. I don't need you, then get you back. But I don't know. It feels like you went through all his worst and then came back and got his best, and then he's going to have tough matchups. Yeah, maybe you just want to stay away. Like maybe you might mess up the feng shui there a little bit on your lineup and just, don't tinker too much. Maybe I'll hold pat. Maybe I'll hold pat with what you got.
Quincy Davis coming in here. Sit 2, Lamb, Cup, Debo, Jennings, Mooney, or Disley.
Ooh, if Mooney's healthy, I'm playing him and
Debo?
Lamb.
Is this easy sit?
Yeah, and I'm sitting Cup, so I think Debo is the easy sit. Sitting the tight end out of these guys. I'm playing all the wide receivers. No, I'm just no. I said I'm playing Cup, so I'm sitting Debo.
I'm playing Cup too. I was like, wait a minute here. Lamb still had a decent game, even though with Cooper Rush, and again they're playing the Giants. It's not that bad of a lineup. Is London still out with Mooney, or is he back in? London's back.
London's been back. Mooney's the one who got hurt dealing with the hamstring. Yeah, so we'll see. They can went into the bye, so we don't have updates probably until Wednesday on Mooney.
So we sitting 2.
I'm sitting Debo and Disley.
Debo and Disley. Well, there we go. Yeah. I mean, I would start Mooney if I could, if he's healthy.
Yeah,
so it depends if he's healthy, obviously, right?
They said the hamstring injury he suffered in the Sunday game, that was 8 days ago, and the loss to the Broncos, they said is not believed to be serious. He left the game in the third quarter, did not return in the blowout loss, and so he looked to get healthy during the Falcons' upcoming bye week. So who knows? Maybe if it was a closer game, maybe he would have been able to still play, but maybe just the fact that it was a blowout, they just said, that's it. So yeah, Ray McLeod, maybe throw him on a lineup somewhere if you have an open spot, just in case Mooney can't go. He's the next man up. So
there you go.
All right, good stuff. All right, so I think because we answered the questions at the beginning of the show, Frank. Now that we're done with the
not
show,
as many questions at the end.
We're done with the questions too. We could just get out of here. So you see how that works, right? That was good stuff. So yeah, man. No, we all appreciate it, man. Again, it's been a long season, 13 weeks, 12 weeks done, heading into week 13, a couple more left. So let's finish strong, guys. And then, we're going to head in the playoffs. So again, we won't be doing Wednesday trade show anymore. This next Wednesday will be a start sit show, since we do have 5 games that'll be played before our Friday show part 1 would even start. So we're going to get the first half of the game slate, 8 games broken down and tell you our start sits for those decisions that you're facing on Wednesday night heading into Thursday. So we will be here with you live for that. And then we will have a show Friday evening to cover the remaining games heading into Sunday, and of course the Monday night game as well. So make sure you tune into those next 2 shows. And then next week we'll be semi back to normal. But Wednesday we'll actually go through all of our listener leagues, give you updates on where everyone is on our tournament, mock draft tournament of champions, best ball tournament that we did as well too. So we'll kind of get you guys all caught up, let you know what the playoff matchups are looking like, and of course giving those folks some recognition here on the show. That's been a lot of their off season with us to get into those listener leagues, and hope that those new folks who have joined us here throughout the season join us for their first Get Right off season. Just make sure you're ready to roll those sleeves up. As you see, it says up there, it's like that for a reason, man, because we draft all off season, man. So make sure you keep tuning in. So Frank, anything else you want to mention? Maybe our boys over at Trophy Smack that I forgot to talk about.
We'll give them one more real quick. Start to Pacheco, Hunt, Tracy, Pollard, Brooks, or Bucky. Pacheco's still not cleared yet. Hunt, I would start.
It's Bucky and probably either Hunt or Tracy. Let me look at the lineup. Playing. So Giants against Dallas, so I don't mind Tracy there. And then who is Kansas City playing? They're playing the Raiders, so that's a good matchup there as well too. Bucky's playing the Panthers. Wow, those are great. 3 great matchups. If you can find a way to start Hunt, Tracy, and Bucky, I don't hate it. I don't know if I can answer that until Wednesday, until I get my actual rankings, because that's so close. Those guys all might be kind of
Wednesday.
Back to back. Yeah, so come back with us on Wednesday, Quincy, and I'll let you know.
Tracy.
But it's Bucky for sure, and then it's between Hunt and Tracy for me. If Pacheco is active, then I probably go Tracy, because there's no other back there. I mean, Singletary's technically outscored him this week, but Tracy got a little banged up. But so anyway, so there you go. Pollard's not bad, but he gets the Commander, so it's not bad, not good. And then Brooks, he's not getting any kind of
last one. Jason Ortiz
here anymore.
He said, "Yo, real quick." So he's like, "Let me get in on this." Tight ends for this rest of the season.
What's up? Real quick, last one.
Jay Fergie, Ertz, or Jonnu Smith. I'll give you 2. I will go.
I think it's between one of the last 2.
Yeah, Jonnu Smith and Ertz. I'm just shooting for the.
I think you're probably leaning a little Smith.
He's on fire. Yeah. And Ertz, yeah. Kincaid hasn't been doing enough for me. Jake has been hurt. So if Jake comes back, I would still maybe take Jake over Ertz, but John is on fire right now. So Ertz and Jonnu Smith right now.
Yeah, it's between Ertz and Smith for me, and I probably lean a little more Jonnu because he's a little hotter hand. But yeah, I mean, with those 2 guys, you don't probably need to consider the rest of the season. Just take it week by week, my guy. So yeah, good luck. Real quick, Peanut Breath OG says trade Bijan and Higgins for AJ Brown and Terry, or do I need to throw in London instead of Higgins?
No, we said no, don't do that.
I wouldn't do it, man. I'd still keep Bijan and Higgins over AJ Brown and Terry. I mean, if you really need a wide receiver, but yeah, maybe just focus on just Brown or just London. Like if you want to do London and Higgins for AJ Brown, I wouldn't mind doing that. What do you think about that, Frank? London and Higgins for AJ Brown. I think it's a little much. Like with London and Higgins for Brown and Terry get it done? Would you swap those 2 and just keep Bijan out of it?
Yeah,
he probably wants Bijan though.
Yeah, I think that would probably do it for me.
But at least
I wouldn't move on Bijan. I don't know why you're trying to move on Bijan. We got to look. We got to see what the rest of your lineup is. You know why you're willing to move on Bijan.
Yeah, I honestly think Higgins is the best out of these 4 guys that we're talking about. Is that crazy?
Who's that? Higgins is the best of the 4 guys here.
Yeah, Higgins, London, AJ Brown.
Yeah, right now he's
Scary Terry.
Yeah,
I feel like he's
that's why we're like. Yeah, that's why we're like, why are you going to be moving on?
I don't think he has the highest upside, but he has like the highest floor with still fairly good upside. as well too. So
That's
anyway,
why we're like, why would you want to move on those two guys to get up with the AJ and the Terry? Who,
yeah,
we just talked about
there's
AJ
kind of
not being
question
able to
marks.
get
Yeah,
not being able to get
these
the
two
ball
guys
with
are
Saquon over there, and
focused of their team.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't make that trade. Keep
Eli the
keep
Reaper
Bijan Bacon.
drop Tillman for Vele if Tillman is placed on IR.
For sure. I mean, if he's placed on IR, for sure. But I don't think
You
he's
just
going to
put
go
him
on
in your IR spot if you
his
got one.
concussion. Yeah.
But I mean, at this point, I mean, what are you going to get out of him? You're already like 2 weeks away from
Yeah,
playoffs.
we're week 13. Yeah, that
you're
4
pretty
weeks
much
from
done.
now is week 17. Yeah, so he's done. Anybody
done.
goes on IR, they're done for the
Done.
fantasy season.
Done.
Starting this week.
All right,
Yeah.
that's it. All right, so let's
All right,
talk
there you
about
go,
our
man.
guys over here. We got to pay some more bills real quick. We got TrophySmack.com here that supports our team. They come up with these custom rings.
Oh, you got it.
Custom
Hey, we both went for a ring though.
right? Some belts, and they got some trophies over here. Now's the time to get your orders in. Talk to your league mates. Tell them, hey, that's a good time to, if you add $7 to everybody in the pool there, you could get one of these custom made rings for your league. Put your logo on there. Put the name on there. I personally like these belts. Anthony's got 2 of them right now. He's about to lose one of them for sure.
Losing. I don't know, man. I'm coming up. I got another win, man. I'm moving
he's
on
not
up.
getting it. He's not getting it.
The playoffs.
That's it. Let's move on from that. He's not getting into that. But I've even seen guys walk around in Reno with some of these at the beer fest things that I go to, and it's just good to have some swag, man. Show up in your Super Bowl party with this ring, or your belt around your shoulder, or this trophy. And you should brag it out, man. Show up for your fantasy football drafts, all that stuff. So go check out TrophySmack.com. Check them out. Get our code GetRight to support the show here. And they got all kinds of stuff, man. They got all kinds of stuff, not just for football. They got every sport out there. If you happen to be like the coach of a little league team or something like that, good place to get your stuff. They got a lot of stuff out there and stuff for losers. So in case you want to get something for the loser of the league, it's a good idea to get some there. Nothing like a little bit of some digs at the guy that's in last place. I gotta go find that pink shirt though, man. I gotta tell you what.
That's right.
So yeah, with that being said, what do we go closing out here, Ed?
Send us out, man. Send us out.
Myself, for Anthony, for Mike.
Like and subscribe our affiliates too.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to mention those guys here in a second. We got the Fantasy Football Tavern, the Extra Point, and our own the Fantasy Boardroom with Tycoon. All the links are in the description here down below. So please do like and subscribe. Like and subscribe this show. Please turn on the notifications if you can. We're always answering everybody's questions as much as we can. So we appreciate all the support. So with that being said, you guys have a good night. Peace out. Happy holidays, and be safe.
Happy birthday to me. Later, guys.
There you go. Oh yeah, happy birthday, Aunt.
Wanted to white fantasy is the play. Marking nothing, but I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, go and roll your sleeves up. Wanted to white fantasy